And a chance for us to catch up with Philip Martell, Superintendent of the River Valley School District, with us this morning in our visit presented by Marcus and Mack, voted Best Law Firm, Best Personal Injury Lawyer 4 years in a row, and the Best of Indiana County Contest. Visit them online at marcusandmack.com. I got to ask you to start out, Mr. Martell, if the school buildings weathered the weather very well. We've heard of some buildings in other districts that had water lines break and all kinds of things that have happened. Are you okay there at River Valley?
We're okay. I mean, we have challenges. Obviously, the middle high school and the older building, but nothing, thank God, knock on wood, broke. Joe Hughes, our director of maintenance, and his team did a really good job just monitoring the situation. We got some parts and some univents and some things that need replaced because they're older, so some rooms were a little bit colder. We've made adjustments to help. We brought some extra heat in for those few rooms that we had some issues in, but yeah, knock on wood, everything seems to be okay so far.
That's good. Could be like purchase line and just shovel some more coal into your furnace. The boilers really got to work.
There you go.
The boilers really are working overtime right now during this winter. Hey, I want to talk about a number of different things. One of those was the governor's budget address where he was talking about education and education funding. And I know that you always you're one of our go-to guys when it comes to how educators feel about what's going on in Harrisburg. So I don't know how much chance you've had to hear what the governor said about education funding and what he would like to see happen. But what's your reaction?
It's amazing. We're in early February, and we had just had what day was it? Groundhog Day, and that's really what I kind of attribute to his budget. Here we go again. Continue talking about increases in his investment in education, but it's only in certain areas, once again, and I haven't seen numbers officially for our district or any other rural districts, but I just really believe that it's an inequity he's built in to continue to fund more money to underperforming schools that are not succeeding. And throwing money at the problem of we haven't learned anything in this whole business doesn't solve the problem.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. And I just don't see them doing any different, and I guess because it's probably an election year and he's under a little bit of heat. But it's the same. It's almost like here we are. You and I are talking a year later, like it was last year.
Yeah, it's really interesting to find out what the approach is going to be, and I think that's one of the problems. We don't really know what the approach is, do we?
No, you don't. And I will make this prediction. This year's budget mess will be worse than the one last year.
Oh boy.
And that's unfortunate because I just really recently just told my business manager, I'm like, we're going to tell the board we're going to probably need a tax note. It's an election year. He wants to run for president. I'm sure there's going to be a ton of money in here just into that race. Nothing's going to get resolved. I would be shocked if and I hope I'm wrong, but I'm just going to tell you, just like I told you last year, it's going to happen again.
With the budget situation from last year, a lot of school districts, some had to borrow money, some had to change their financial picture and some of the things that they could do. How did River Valley weather all that, and have you recovered to the point at which you normally would be at this time of the year?
Yeah, we have, but it doesn't make the reason fact that they couldn't get their act together in Harrisburg, the fact that it cost our taxpayers probably about $50,000 to $60,000 in unwanted interest that we had to pay because we had to take that tax anticipation note. So if you take that, Todd, times, and I know we got a great rate from First National Bank, but like I heard of some other districts, 7-8% like interest rates like that they had to pay, and I'm like, wow. So if you take our amount plus all the other districts that took TANs, I'd like to see the legislator and the governor get that back out of their salaries to all these districts. Wouldn't that be something different? Maybe they wouldn't. Maybe they'd get it done then.
Yeah. There you go. All right. I do want to talk about education, but I do have to ask you a question about something that I know is a difficult subject, and that is the court ruling regarding the ICTC situation with River Valley, and just ask you, and if you don't want to answer, that's fine, but your reaction to the judge's ruling.
It's an interpretation. Everybody's entitled to that. I have a lot of respect for the judge, but we're just not in agreement. So we're going to move through the process and move through the appellate process and continue to move forward. We feel we have a strong legal grounds. We have a great solicitor. He's done a phenomenal job, Brian Cribb, since he's been here. I have all the faith, and so does the board, all the faith in the world in him. So we'll see where the next appellate level takes us, and we'll go from there.
All right. Let's get into the hallways of the schools and find out what's happening there. Certainly with the River Valley, we have a great excitement about the media program, and we have firsthand knowledge of it, having worked with it here in this basketball season and through the football season as well. You have to be really proud of that group, don't you?
It's just amazing. And I'm always proud of our kids. But if you think about, where that was a first year program, that's a significance. With the assistance, obviously, from Renda, I'd like to do some of the things we needed to do. But our kids are now on the level in this final, in the Bob Pompiani contest as a finalist at Point Park with the likes of Peters Township and Penn Trafford, who have had programs for years. That's what I think of the significance, and the credit to Darren Stubnicki and Janine Buell, the instructors, and the kids, most importantly, too, for just the competing, but doing the job that they do. It's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. And as long as we're talking about programs such as that, we haven't talked for a while about what's going on at the STEAM Academy and how this academic year has progressed. I'm sure you're very, very proud of some of the accomplishments there, too.
We are. We're continuing. What's really interesting, we're coming into year 4 of it, so now we're starting to see Dr. Little had a alumni event set up probably a few weeks back because, and had some of our most successful students that went through programs at the STEAM Academy come back and talk to our current students. And I think that's really what has power in what we're doing. They don't want to hear from old farts like us. They want to hear. I think there's just power in hearing from their peers, especially some that may not be older, much older than them. And it was just a great event, and it just continues to see the success as we have students. It's nothing for Westinghouse to be in the building 3-4 times a week, working with our kids, trying to gainfully employ them, CVS, all of them. So we're really kind of see the fruits of that model now, and we're still continue to see increased enrollment as our now ninth graders are moving up. So the proof is in the pudding, Todd. I guess is what I'm saying. It's there. We have the qualitative data now to show that this is working. We have success stories from our students. And that is something you just can't put a price tag on.
Those corporate connections are a really key part of that whole STEAM Academy concept, aren't they?
They are. I mean, it's just because our occupational advisory committees, which I believe you're on, the one for the media program, in a lot of places in career centers, people don't even want to get on them because it's the same repetitive thing. Our meetings are well attended because they know we listen to them, what those new industry standards are, what those changes are in workforces. And we try to incorporate that in because they're the ones that, our partners, those partnerships, we need to listen to them because they're the ones that are going to help better prepare our students. So that is where those committees, the framework when they were made up years ago, the thought behind them was great, but they just kind of lapsed like in some places. We use them to the best of our ability to make sure that we're staying current with workforce demands and trends.
Philip Martell, Superintendent of the River Valley School District, with us this morning. Got to be proud, too, of that basketball team. Your boys are going for the Heritage Conference Championship tomorrow at the KCAC. You've had a lot of success at the Heritage Conference with championships by both the boys and the girls in the last couple of years, and will they get another chance?
Yeah, it's just incredible. And Coach Spallone and his team, his coaching staff work really hard. The boys work really hard. All of our athletes work hard. We've had a great year athletically on a lot of different fronts. This is just another feather in the cap, but we believe in our student athletes, and that's why the board believes we invested in this facility. So our student athletes are training year-round now too. With that facility being here, it was a nice new field, but the facility itself is second to none. So to have that ability to be able to train and get better and get faster and get stronger, it's just something that we felt strong enough that we wanted to invest into our not only our student athletes but really for the community to use too. So we're excited about the game and. Let's see where it takes us.
Yeah, absolutely. The basketball is just one part of that whole experience tomorrow night there at the KCAC. There's also the arts program, and Drafting Your Dreams, a night for next-gen artists and their families is the name of the program. Going to celebrate the arts, have the arts show with work from all of the Heritage Conference schools, but also there tomorrow night, representatives of the Carnegie Museum of Art in Pittsburgh, and some professional artists around, and to get to the point where your students, your student artists, your students involved in the arts are able to mix and mingle with the people who are pros that can offer them advice, give them critiques, constructive critiques, and just be a part of that whole arts community. That's invaluable.
It's invaluable, especially we're very fortunate, obviously not being in that Allegheny County area where a lot of those kids do get those. To have something like this take place is incredible. And, a lot of times people forget. They forget about the A in the STEAM. It's arts. And that's the thing. And so we really believe in that. If you walk through the halls of our buildings, we've had projects, thanks to Katie DeGlaw, our high school art teacher. She really gets out. We've done projects in the community our students have, murals and different things. So she's always thinking out of the box, and we're always investing in wanting our students to get the most access to things that they can do, including events like this.
One of my big failings when I talk with you each month is because I get so involved in high school programs is I neglect the elementary programs. And, well, I guess I can blame you for that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. The elementary programs within the district, talk about them a little bit, how the year has gone for them, some of the goals that you set at the beginning of the year, and how you meet them.
It was a little bit of a transition year in Salzburg because we unfortunately lost Tracy Richards, who retired, but she's now thankfully a board member here, a school board member here as well. So we got her right back. But Kathy Monco has done a great job transitioning over in Salzburg to make sure we maintain, and kept, what Tracy's leadership brought to that building. Obviously, being a blue ribbon school. And so they've kept it steadfast. And Brian Higginbotham and the job they've done over BS, they've done a lot of different activities. They've got more parent involvement, I think, than I've ever seen since I've been here. He's now going to transition to the high school, and we hired the board hired Rich Munsell last month, who was a Blairsville graduate. He's coming back from Virginia. We're very excited to have Rich as a part of our team. But just keeping that momentum up in the elementaries and supporting them with their activities and the different evening events and getting that student involvement just kind of correlates with everything we're trying to do here.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've got it rolling at the elementary schools, at the high school level, with the athletics programs, the STEAM Academy, and you're heading into, well, you're already involved in the midst of what will soon be a spring season. And the spring athletics will get going, and all of the school trips and proms and all of those big things are still in the offing for the rest of this academic year.
They are. As we speak now, even our spring teams are just doing winter workouts and stuff. And we have a new baseball coach, a new softball coach. Mike Funyak is our new softball coach, and Christian Campus is our baseball coach. And they brought back the legend John Santoro back for baseball, so we're excited about that too. So the kids they're really into things, and that's what we want them to do.
Absolutely. All right. Hey, I enjoy our conversations each month. Thank you for joining us here this morning.
You got it, buddy. Take care. Stay warm.
Philip Martell, Superintendent of the River Valley School District, with us here this morning on Indiana in the Morning.